Hello. Alrighty. Okay, everybody. Welcome to today's podcast. Podcast about video games, a little bit of movie and entertainment on the side, and really anything video game related. Just something to pass the time. Alright, so sorry about missing last week's podcast. Unfortunately, I was waiting to do the podcast the next night when after the Nintendo Direct. But Nintendo Direct did not happen. So that was a little unfortunate. Then because of that, I ran out of time because I was planning to talk about pretty much the Nintendo Direct. And that's about it. So after that, I had to work, didn't have time, and wanted to wait until this week, hoping that the Direct was going to come out before today. And I was going to do 2 podcasts. So instead, my plan is to do a podcast today and do one probably tomorrow night after the Direct. Unfortunately, I have to work tomorrow night, so it'll be a late additional podcast. So there's that. And it's unfortunate that Japan had to have an earthquake that prevented Nintendo from not being able to do the Direct, but there's more important things. So hopefully the people over there, no one's been majorly hurt, and they're fine. So let's get back to the game. So Nintendo is going to do their Direct, or supposed to do their Direct tomorrow. Hopefully that goes through. There were a couple of things that have been leaked out ahead of time that obviously would have been for the Direct. Let's go with the easiest one that most people probably know about. Or I guess they're all pretty normal. Probably pretty general to everybody that's in video games. Anyways. So Mega Man 11, the demo launched. I downloaded it for the Switch last week. Or when it launched out. I guess that's last week. And yeah, it was fun. I really enjoyed it. I didn't have time to beat it. I kept dying at this random spot. And I didn't have really much time. So I put like 10-15 minutes into it, just kind of goofing around, playing, getting used to the controllers, and I have to say, I like it. I know you can't really judge a game by one level itself, but it was a good level. And I think I'm probably going to get it. It was a good demo. I liked it. Good length for the demo. I don't know how close I was to the end of it, but the length that I played, I really liked it. I liked how it had 2 different characters you could switch into for their abilities. So that way you got a good sense of what you could have if you were already playing the game and defeated some boss levels. So, that would have been a nice surprise in the Direct. Granted, it was a nice surprise anyways, but I feel like that took a little bit out of Nintendo's Direct. I'm not sure if they're going to fill something in, give us a little teaser for something else, or if they're just going to cut it all together. But yeah, that was good. The other thing was the name for the next Yoshi's game. I forget the name off the top of my head. Let me look that up. But that really, I feel like that wasn't really ruining it for the Direct, because a title to me really doesn't make much of a game. I mean, we've seen what the game's supposed to look like. And really, the title doesn't really give too much away. We know it was a Yoshi game. We know it kind of had like a paperish look to it, and everything. So, I don't think that was really a big loss. Yoshi's Crafted World. I mean, really? It tells you what the story, or what the game looks like in its title. So, that's not a big loss. I don't think Nintendo really needs to worry about filling that void. So, those are the big things for me for the Direct that I feel like they got a little bit taken away, but not too much. So the broadcast is supposed to come tomorrow, 3 p.m. Pacific time. So I'm on the East Coast, so looking about 6 o'clock. um, 6 p.m. right in the middle of my work shift. So that's a little annoying. I won't get to watch the video until I get home, which means I need to stay off of social media and anything like that until I get out of work around 9, which wouldn't be too hard. I don't have great service where I work. But, so I'll probably do my podcast tomorrow after the Nintendo Direct, or after I get home. So probably around 10 o'clock. It'll be a late one. I'll do a nice little 30-minute, 40-minute talk about the Nintendo Direct. So the Direct's going to be about 35 minutes. That's a good Direct. I would imagine it's going to be about the games that are coming out for the holiday. A little bit more Super Smash Brothers. Hopefully not a lot of Super Smash Brothers. I like the game. I want to play it. I don't need to see more. Unless there's some new characters, but other than that, if there's not new characters or anything, a quick 2-3 minutes talking about the game with a surprise release of like the Ultimate Edition with controller, adapter, game. That's it. Move on. Show us some other games. And, get us excited. I would love them to announce, maybe a new classic system for the holidays. I know it's kind of rushing at this point. We're already in September. But, I mean, if they've already been making it, say, come out for December, just in time for the holiday. Or, it'd be cool if they came out with NES Classic 2. More games on it. I mean, the NES Classic's so small. If I had to buy another one with another 30 games, and they just stacked on top of each other, not really a big deal. Make it look like the top-loader version, so you can tell the two different systems apart. I mean, a lot of people would probably just hack their system, but, for the people that aren't looking to hack and put ROMs and want the official game, that'd be kind of a cool announcement. Likely, probably not. I wish they would have just released the NES Classic with, like, a special card slot on the front where the cartridges would go, and you could update, another $10 got you 5 more bundle games. And you could put the little cartridges in like you would with the original NES. That would be cool. Imagine the Super Nintendo, you could put a little cartridge right on top and it had like 5 or 10 more games for another $20-30. I feel like they missed a little opportunity to kind of get really creative with the little mini consoles. Little flop door, little push down door, that would have been cool. Realistically though, we probably won't get a classic console announcement. If we did, it'd probably be more like, the Game Boy or the N64 with all the fantastic colors. That'd be cool. But it's probably just going to be about the games. So, here's hoping we get some great games. Probably nothing about Metroid Prime 4 until next year. I still need to play Metroid Prime 3. I played the first 2, liked them, and then just kind of lost interest by the time the next one... Not lost interest, but forgot about it. It came out, didn't have time, and then forgot about it. But I did just get the Trilogy Pack for the Wii, so it might be time to pick that back up, because I played the first one on the GameCube. So I'd like to see what it looks like on the Wii. Alright, so that's that. Also, Nintendo unveiled the launch date of their online service. So, next Tuesday, the 18th. I feel like this is kind of a weird reveal. You'd think they would have just wait and saved it for the Direct. Because nothing was pushing up the timeline on this. But, it'll come with a 7-day free trial from the Nintendo eShop. And they'll be introducing some new features about the Direct. That's probably what the Direct really is about, like all the games that you'll be able to play and those features, which is cool. I mean, I've played all those games many of times, but, it's worth the $20 a year. $3.99 a month, or $7.99 for 3 months, or 12 months for $20, $19.99. And the fact that you get Super Mario Bros. 3 and Legend of Zelda to play on your Switch, that's cool. $20, those 2 games. If you had to buy them separately for the 3DS, you're looking at like $10 a piece. Not $10 a piece, but $10 right there. So the fact that you get those plus some other ones, might as well. If you're going to play Super Smash Brothers or Splatoon, Right now, I'm really into Splatoon 2, so I want the online service if that stopped me from playing it. And compared to like the Xbox and the PlayStation, $20 a year is not bad. So I can't wait to see that. Maybe they'll announce some um, GameCube games. You know, I still need some N64 games. Yes, it would nice to get like Wind Waker and everything, but they just sold the Wind Waker on the Wii U HD remasters for full price. So I feel like GameCube games still have great value for them, and um, it's probably not worth selling them at a reduced price on the Switch in like the form of a virtual console. I know that's not what they're going to call it, but there's really no reason for them to release them for under $30. So if they're going to release GameCube classics, they're probably going to just make them HD remasters and sell them for full price, especially the ones for Nintendo. Now maybe third-party GameCube games might not draw that kind of price, and they want to release some like lesser-known GameCube games that for $10-15. Okay, I could see that. Maybe pay for that. There's a couple GameCube games. No, I'm pretty sure all my GameCube games are made from Nintendo, to be honest. A couple Sega, Tales of Symphonia, things like that. But I feel like those games could still draw $30 if you could play them on the Switch. So I feel like the N64 is still their, highest console that they're going to be releasing. Because those games could still play well on the Switch, and in handheld mode probably look really well. So I don't know. I feel like if they're releasing GameCube games, even though it's the next console after the Wii U, I could still see them doing HD masters. So I don't know. I don't see them wanting to lose money for just having like a virtual console style in their eShop. I feel like that's going to be stuck with the NES, Super NES, and the N64 for the foreseeable future, and any GameCube stuff is probably going to be at least $30. Twilight Princess, which I know is a Wii game as well, HD still came out, $60. I mean, took a while before those games dropped in price. And, Nintendo, if they're going to re-release them, and they were $60 just 2 years ago, they're probably going to keep them at $60 for the re-release. Maybe add some features, or maybe $40. Would I buy Twilight Princess for the Switch for $40 if it's the HD version? I already have it for the Wii U, maybe, but probably not. And I don't see them dropping it below $40 because it's technically a new game for their Switch. So, all right, let's just move on from the Nintendo Direct. Next up, I can't even say this name, but from the creators of Ico, and the other game, Shadows of the Colossus, released kind of a new teaser for another game. It really looks like Ico though, like the Ico style. I don't think it's an actual sequel, but the little trailer for it, I'll try to put the photo up here for the people that are watching on YouTube. But it really does look like a sequel, or at least a spiritual sequel. But who knows? It might be one of those things they don't see it as a sequel, or they see it as a sequel now, but it could turn into being its own little thing. But who knows? It does look cool. Check it out. I don't think they have a name for it yet, but it's in the news. Check out your normal video game site, and you'll probably see it. All right. So what else? Now let's take a little game break. So I saw the trailer for Creed yesterday at the movie theaters, or Creed 2, and spoiler if you haven't seen the trailer, person he's fighting is from one of the older Rocky movies. Um, I've never watched Creed yet. I like the first 4 Rocky movies. I didn't like them as a kid, but as I get a little bit older, in my teens, I started liking them. So I like the fact that they're bringing back like this character's like son as well. But I kind of hope the Creed character loses to him. I like when you don't see. I like when the hero loses at the end of movies because you don't see it coming most of the time, and I like that. I don't mind if they come back in the second movie or third movie and win it, but give me one movie where you don't expect them to actually win. I've never seen Creed 1. I wanted to. It's one of those things after it came out on DVD, I forgot about it. So many other things to watch, and if it's not on one of my streaming services, I don't watch it. I'm not going to pay extra to watch a movie to go to my way, really, when there's tons of other movies on whatever service I'm using. Might as well just save my money for that. That way I have more money for the games. So if it pops up on one of the services I'm using currently, then I'll watch it. But I did like it, and I might just watch the second one before I watch the first one because I have a movie pass, so, hopefully at one point that movie's available to watch. It did look cool. I'm interested. So another news, apparently Superman might be needing a new actor to fill his roles. Apparently, right now there's talks that Cavill, I cannot say his name, isn't signing up to do any more Superman movies. I'm okay with that. If the current rosters like Ben Affleck and Cavill stop reprising their roles and they have to reboot the DC universe, I think that's the best thing that could happen. I haven't really enjoyed any of the DC movies. Wonder Woman was pretty good. I liked that one. It was a good change. It actually felt well written and good visuals. Story was pretty good. I wouldn't say it's as good as the Marvel movies that I like. Don't get me wrong, not all the Marvel movies are good, but the top 5 to me are better than Wonder Woman. But Wonder Woman for the DC universe was easily the best one. I haven't seen Justice League or Suicide Squad. I got tired of being disappointed after all the other DC movies. And then people that I knew that liked the other DC movies were just telling me how bad Justice League and Suicide Squad was. I'm like, well, if I didn't like those movies and you like those movies, I'm probably not going to like those either. So I just stayed away. Too many times I've gone to a DC movie and I'm like, nope, it's over. Please. So maybe you get new actors, you start over and have a new fresh take, and we might have an actual competitor to Marvel with superheroes. At this point, though, Marvel is releasing so many superhero movies. Do we really need DC? Maybe to keep Marvel on their toes, but I mean, Marvel wants to stay on their toes to keep making money. So, do I really need that many more superhero movies? I will say though, Shazam, I'm interested to see, just because it's a little bit different take. I think that one would be enjoyable. I just hope they get the right people to do it this time. I always loved the guy who's playing Shazam. He's from Chuck. I really enjoyed that show for the most part. It got a little long at the end, but I have to say, if you take a break from the show when it starts getting long and go back like a year and a half later and finish out the show, it feels enjoyable again after taking that break. So I'll watch him in it, and I think he might be able to make the movie enjoyable. Here's hoping. What else in the movie news? Alright, nothing on my list of things. Let's talk about this. I read this article online today. IGN, I believe, released every Tomb Raider game they ever reviewed. I like that because I liked all the Tomb Raider. I won't say I liked all the Tomb Raider games, but I like playing Tomb Raider and the Tomb Raider games. Even the bad ones, I'll kind of pop in just to see how they are. Um, but everyone I've played, I've enjoyed. Yes, some of them are just their controllings were horrible, um, but sometimes they're so bad in a way that you laugh playing through it. And if the game is too easy for you and they're bad, at least that way you get to play the whole game quickly. Um, I still love the first Tomb Raider, even though it feels so weird to control compared to today's controllings. It's still fun to go back and play. The Last Revelations, I played that on the PC as a demo disc. Never played the actual game. I think I have it for the Dreamcast. I think. But before I had it for the Dreamcast, I had the demo for the PC. I loved playing the demo. And I think I picked it up for the Dreamcast and never got around to it. I kind of would like to go through this ranking and then play them myself. So according to them, the first Tomb Raider game, they got a 9.3. The second one, they got an 8. Third one, they got an 8. Third one for the PC, 7.7. The Last Revelations, 8.5. Last Revelations for the PCs. Why is the PC worse than the consoles? That's just weird. Weird. Huh. I'm going to have to look into that. So, whoa. Okay, so don't play it on the Dreamcast, apparently. A 3. Wow. I'm gonna have to read more than that. So on the PlayStation, it got an 8.5, which is weird because you think it'd be better for the Dreamcast. Then on the PC, it got a 7, and then on the Dreamcast, it got a 3. That must be some bad porting. That's the only thing I could imagine. That is horrible. Wow. So I'm glad I never played the one for the Dreamcast. Then they have an 8 for the Game Boy Color Tomb Raider. That's kind of cool. Tomb Raider Chronicles. Okay, so I played this one. They gave it a 6.5. I agree. I'm pretty sure this is the one where the controlling is horrible. Or at least the camera work is either that. I'm pretty sure it's the Chronicles one. And then the PC one got a lower score. It's either the Chronicles one or the Angel of Darkness, I think it's called. I'm sure it's going to pop up. But one of those two games. Every time you walk down the screen, if you walk too far, the camera would just flip. And then you'd end up running off the edge because your character's still going the same direction your joystick, but the camera's not. Oh, yeah. So that was hard. Once you get used to it, though, you could play it. But whew, if you were not as skilled at controlling the character, it was horrible. Dreamcast 5.8 again. Okay, I've never heard of this one. Tomb Raider Curse of the Sword. I gave it a 9. I'm going to have to look into that. Angels of Darkness. Okay, yeah, 5.3. Horrible mechanics and excellent storytelling. Okay, so I agree. I like the story, but yes, the mechanics were horrible. Once the camera moves, like say you're holding up on the joystick, if the camera angle changed, the direction of the character would change according to where the camera was. So even though you were walking down a corridor straight, if the camera changed and you were still holding the joystick up, your character would then go to the right or to the left. Not exactly that way, but that's what would happen. So if you're on an edge, running to try to jump and cling onto something, and there was like a cliff to your left or right, and the camera would change, you would run off the cliff. Yeah, not fun. Tomb Raider Legends. I really like that one. They gave it an 8.2. For the PSP, 7.2. For the GameCube and PS2, they gave it an 8. Yeah, I agree. The Legends was a good... It looked great when it came out, too. Especially if you had it on the Xbox. I think it was the Xbox. Um, oh no, not that's not the one I'm thinking about. I'm thinking about the Tomb Raider Anniversary 8.7. That one's the first game I actually hooked up all my consoles because I forget what it was. Oh, I had a movie, not a movie pass, but like a video game pass for a local rental store, and so I rented the game on PS2 and the Xbox and put them on the TV and compared them. It's the first time I actually noticed like a big difference. But if you're just playing on one console, you would never know you were missing out. Anniversary for the PC 7.8. Why does the game keep getting worse for PCs? That doesn't make any sense. Because you think more powerful PC, they could do it better. All right. I like how they have different gradients for each console, because then you can kind of guess which one's the better one to have. Alright, they had a lot of anniversaries for every console rated separately. So Tomb Raider Underworld, 8. For the Wii, 6.5. Mobile, 6.8. It's pretty bad when a mobile version of a game gets a better version than the console. DS, 7.2. PS2, 4. Wow, PS2. Full of bugs, apparently. For the downloadable content, Laura's Shadow, they gave it an 8. I never heard of that one. I wanted to look into that. Lara Croft and the Guardian of Light. I really love this game. They gave it an 8.5. It was just fun to play and solve the puzzles. Because that's one of my favorite part about the early Tomb Raider games was, you know, being in the temple, playing the puzzles and unlocking the rooms and getting to the next place. The new ones kind of drift away from that a little bit, or a lot. It's more of action than anything. They still do have some puzzles, but the old ones are really heavily puzzled. And that's what I like about the Guardian of the Light, was the whole game was basically like playing, you know, almost like Gauntlet, the Dark Legacies for like the N64 and the Dreamcast, where, you know, you had that like 45-degree angle, you know, almost top down, and you had to walk around these levels beating up characters, kind of like Hunter the Reckless. Hunter the Reckless. We'll skip that. But with a lot of puzzles, and I like that. It was definitely a fun game, and I hope they keep making those styles. I know they made a second one, the Oasis something. I haven't played it, because I've been waiting for it to come out with PS Network for free. I think I do have it though now. All right. Tomb Raider, the new Tomb Raider, the reboot kind of, from 2013. They gave it a 9.1, and I totally agree. I enjoyed running around, playing the game. I did feel the lack of puzzles was not what I was hoping. I wanted them to be more temples and everything. But they fixed that in the second one by giving you a lot more things to do. The first one was great. It looked great, looked nice, it was fun. My favorite part of the game, bow and arrow. I love taking bow and arrows to people. Not much of a gun. I love just shooting them in the head from long distance with a bow and arrow. Okay, Temple of Osiris. Osiris, I think is the name. They gave it an 8.1. You know what? I think I did play this one. Sometimes you play so many games you forget what you play, but now that I look at it, I think I definitely played this because I remember the Egyptian. I hope they make a third one. Lara Croft Go. They gave it an 8.5. See, I tried that game, and I was not a fan. So, I don't know. Maybe I gotta give it a second chance. I tried the first level, and it wasn't for me. So, I don't know. Rise of the Tomb Raider. That's another good one. Sorry, just checking out my camera. I thought it was off. So, yeah, Rise of the Tomb Raider, great game. I love that one too. I can't wait to play the new one. Shadows of the Tomb Raider, I think it's called. I have they gave 9.3 Rise of the Tomb Raider 20-year celebration. Its own score. I have that one, and that's when I played. Loved it. Shadow of the Tomb Raider. I can't wait to play this one. It looks great. They gave it a 9.9 out of 10. I'm not much for review scores, but when you're comparing the scores to the same game, I think that's really important. But when you're like, oh, this game's a 9 and that game's a 9, to me that's not necessarily the same. But how they rated Tomb Raider Legacy for each console separate grades. That to me, I trust grades more often. But the 9s for the Tomb Raiders, I played them. I agree with those scores, and I can't wait to play the new one. All right, so I just had to talk about that article. I thought it was neat looking at it. Let's head back to Nintendo real quick. I forgot about this. So Nintendo is making a special edition Switch with Eevee and Pikachu on it. It looks cool. I hope they do more of these. I like the special editions. I don't buy too many of them, but I do like them out there. I like people having different ones, and I think it's really good in the used market because you have different ones to shoot for. I would like to see if they did a Fantastic series where the whole dock was all different colors, maybe even clear purple or glacier, those clear green. I think that'd be a cool little look. Even if it's just the dock is cleared. It doesn't have to be the console itself. Give the console a solid purple, but give the dock a clear purple. I think that'd be a nice 90s throwback. Yeah. They definitely need to go do more special editions. Yeah, I guess that probably costs them a little bit more money because they're asking for these new colors in a limited edition than just printing out millions of black and grays, but if it helps sell your console at the full price continuously, might as well. Alright, so Final Fantasy is re-releasing remastered editions of the Crystal Chronicles. I always wanted to play the Crystal Chronicles for the GameCube. I was a big Final Fantasy fan, but I always disliked the fact that they weren't on Nintendo anymore. So when I heard about the ones for the GameCube, I wanted to play it. I couldn't afford to buy it at the time. A friend of mine had it. I watched him play it for a little bit, and I liked it. I just never got around into buying it because, I bought the games as they dropped in price. So if I had a good game that dropped in price, I bought that one, started playing it, and then go to the store for the next good game at good price. So I just overpassed Crystal Chronicles. I do like how it's coming out with a remastered edition. Will I buy it? At one point, when it's cheap, hopefully. But I might just look to see how much it's going for the GameCube and buy it then. This one's it's coming for the PS4 as well, which it's weird that it's coming for the PS4 and the Switch, but no Xbox. Like that should be the other way around normally. Like, oh, it's coming out for the PC, the PS4, the Xbox, Nintendo who? That's usually how it feels with third-party games. So the fact that they're releasing it for the Switch and the PS4, but not the Xbox, I feel like that's cool. Hopefully more third parties decide, hey, the Switch is worthy of our time. They're just going to keep selling consoles. So, in an age where we have PS4 Plus, the PC from ultra powerful to low levels, Xbox One S, Xbox One X. A lot of these games are designed to go from really high resolution to really low resolution. So if you're already designing your game to be able to have those functions built in, then why don't you just look at how low the functions have to go for it to run on the Switch? Because if it's the option for me to have the game on Nintendo and be able to take it on the go at lower graphical power than the Xbox and PS4, I'd probably go that route. Unless it's a game that I want to play because it looks awesome. So if I had a game like Skyrim that, was brand new and I want it to look like I'm actually there, then yes, I'll probably get on the Xbox One X. But if it's a game like, I don't know, Doom, I don't care if it doesn't look as realistic as the PS4. I'm just there to blow up some monsters. But if it's an experience game where I want to be in those shoes, then yes, I want them to be on the Xbox. But you know what? Breath of the Wild, that was great. I felt it was great roaming around that world. So, to me, graphical power, the way it looks, isn't always the best thing. So, I mean, it's only going to help them sell more copies. And if they're already doing those control levels, they might as well just see what it looks like at the Switch's level. That way I can play it on the go. Alright. So, like I've said in previous podcasts, I like my PSVR. I love games for it. I want more games for it so I can keep playing it. Um, and hopefully companies keep releasing. Well, one company announced that, or coming to the PSVR soon, is Kingdom Hearts, a VR. It's not like a game. It's like a short little like tech demo, I would say, that allows you to play in the world to try to get people into VR more. And you know what? I would love if I could play Kingdom Hearts in VR and run around all the Disney worlds in VR. That's what VR should be for. Especially the cartoon games. The cartoon games look great in VR because there's not a lot of detail or realism to it. You know, I don't need, like, in a Disney VR game, Donald Duck feathers will just be, you know, some whiteness with a little bit of feather detail. You know, a game like Skyrim, they're going to be making the feathers like you can see each individual one, and that's going to be hard for VR to handle. But, you know, games that look like Job Simulator, I could walk around that world and feel like I'm there, and I wouldn't care less. So I hope they keep working on Kingdom Hearts and make it a point of view VR game, or something similar to that. All right. So TGS is coming soon, and you know, the Tokyo Game Show, and Sony's been announcing some things. That was one of the things they announced, the Kingdom Hearts VR experience, as it's being called. And they've been announcing some other games. So we got the Crystal Chronicles, a game called Samurai Spirits. I've never played this, but it does look cool. It kind of cartoony look to it. And it's a fighting game. So it's a samurai style fighting game. So it's a little bit different than just hand-on-hand combat. It does look cool. I do like it, like the look of it. I'm not the big fighting game fan. I'd have to try the demo. Everybody's Golf VR. So that's interesting. Golf VR game. I wouldn't mind trying it. I kind of wish PlayStation would do that to some of their motion games that they have, turn them into VR. One of the motion games I like is a frisbee golf game. That would be cool if I could wear a VR headset and play frisbee golf like I'm there. So that's kind of along these lines. So I'm interested. I'll check it out. All right. Couple more things before I end it today. We're going to end it short. I got to get ready to go to work soon. This was a late podcast. I kind of ran out of time planning earlier. So, a new grease crew. This is a little old news, but I didn't get to talk about it because I didn't get to do my podcast last week. But the Xbox grease-proof controller. I do not like the way it looks. To me, it almost looks like it would hold grease even more. Or at least be slippery when you have grease in your hands. Granted, it's only a limited. They're only making a few for Australia. It does look cool, though. Currently, 200. Yeah. I don't know. I don't like the way it looks. I'm not really one for custom controllers. It's just, once you get 2 or 3 controllers, you don't need more. If people want to collect it, that's cool. I mean, I collect video games. Why can't people collect just controllers? But yeah, I won't go on my way for an extra controller unless I need a new one. If I needed a new one and this was the price of a new one, I'd buy it. But I don't really eat food while I'm playing games. I'll take a break, eat, wash my hands before I play. But yeah, it looks cool. Kind of grayish with yellow buttons. I don't know if I'm too much into those yellow buttons though. I think red would have been nicer. Okay, one more thing before we wrap this up, or at least go into our final closing hour. Sony's blocking crossplay. Yay, Sony. hey, it's what they ever want to do. They run it, but I wish companies would step up and be like, you know what? If you don't let us cross-play for our games from other consoles, then we're not going to be releasing on your console. I know. That's a big statement when Sony has the most consoles sold. But hey, that only benefits all the game developers, customers, players, gamers, because that means that they can buy a game and play it and know that if it's an online experience, they have tons of people to play it with. If I could only play my game, like let's say for some reason that yes, Sony has the most consoles sold, and most of the people bought it for that game, but the community is still playing it on the PS4, the Xbox One, and the Switch because they can cross-play and it's allowing them to have more user base. And the PS4 community has slowly died down. So now, if you still want to play that game on the PS4, you're limited to, let's say, 2 million players, where the Xbox and the Switch, for some reason, because they're cross-playing, they have like 8 million players playing. So I get to play at 2 million or 8 million, where if I could just cross-play, there's a 10 million pool. I think for the developer, it would help their game be more relevant on all three consoles longer, because no matter who you're playing, whatever console you're playing on, you have the largest pool of players to play against. And I don't think Sony sees it like that. I think Sony sees, well, if everyone buys it for our console, that's the most people buy for our console, that means the most people playing. Yes, but it doesn't mean they're going to be playing for a long term. So that's unfortunate. And I don't see the big guys going too harsh on Sony by not releasing for their console. Maybe, but I don't see that. Alright, so that's everything I have for today. Not a long episode or a podcast. I just wanted to make sure I got one out. Talk about the things that I've read about this week in news. Nothing really big, that's why I think it's a little bit shorter than I want. But yeah, so the plan is tomorrow, another podcast, probably a 30-minute podcast, talk about Nintendo Direct and any other news that might have popped up between now and then. For those who listen on iTunes, thank you for listening. I also have my own YouTube channel, Video Game Archives. This will also be posted on there so that people can watch it as well, because I know, for whatever reason, sometimes I like my podcast video form while I'm cleaning up. Every once in a while I look up. You feel a little bit more of a connection when you can see the people talking. So that's on there. So for you guys, I'm going to try to get some of the things I've talked about on the screen for the YouTube channel. I don't know if I'm going to have time, so it might not happen. I guess you'll know when you're watching this. Alright guys, thank you for watching. Thank you for listening. Thank you for tuning in. You know, still new at this, but it's definitely fun. And I'm glad people are tuning in. You know, it may only be 2 or 3 a week, but hey, that's better than nothing. Alright guys, so let me know anything in the news that stuck out to you guys this week that you're really excited for. Leave a comment, and, you know, subscribe to my other things. Alright guys, have a good night. Talk to you next time, and tune in for some more.